What's going on, guys? It's Fireball here. Today, I am going to show you how to build a castle in Minecraft. It's one of the skills that I've really tried perfecting, and I've gotten really good at it, so I want to share it with you guys. Let's go.
I tell her, baby, 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 I'm a fireball.
Step 1. I need you to hit that subscribe button, and now we can get rolling. Okay, first thing we're going to do, besides subscribing, is make a world, obviously. The second, this is what Google is used for. You look up perfect seed for building castles in Minecraft, and it will pull up this whole list. I'm going to try this expansive plains, and this is what it's given me. This doesn't look a lot like a plains, does it? Huh, I'll work with it. Second thing you want to do, you want to find a perfect area to build your castle. Usually, a good area is Jagged Peaks, or whatever they're calling it now. And if you want to be really cinematic about it, you could find a village slash locate biome. And if you didn't know how to use this command, this is how you do it. Is it mountain? No? Jagged Peaks. Then it will tell me the coordinates. Okay, let's see. We go back to look at the chat and we go to that specific spot. 612. Which way is that? It's this way. 612, I think 480. And then 998. Oh, far away. Am I though? I'm really not too far away. I wouldn't call this a Jagged Peaks, but I'm gonna roll with it because this is definitely where it's wanting me to go. And then you want to find a perfect spot on this mountain. You want to find a perfect spot to build your castle. Okay, I'm gonna build my keep, which is the main part of the tower, right here. Right here. I've marked it. It's been marked. And now, alright, step 3. For making your keep, you want a solid block, so a whole block like this piece of deep slate that I have right here. And then you want slabs for stairs. But before you do that, you want to decide the height that you want. So I'm going to make this a 2017 block tall. Okay, we've got a 17 block pedestal. It's not going to be a very big tower because it's just for demonstration purposes. And then we start with the slabs, where things sometimes get a little tricky. And you can choose any slabs, this works with all of them. So you start with one slab on the ground, and then you go up, like this. Just making sure this is right. Yes. And then you keep repeating as such. You go up from there, go to the side, one more, up. And repeat it until you get all the way to the top. This is why I didn't do such a big, what's it called? Castle, keep, because this can take some time. Okay, y'all. I have A, turned off my vibrant visuals, which were getting a little annoying. And B, I have completed my staircase. So now, what you want to do, you can do this earlier, I just tend to save it to last, is you want to test it out and make sure it works. Make sure you're not knocking your noggin on this top slab, but you have a little room. That's so you always want to do it like this, because if you don't, you won't have any room. Now, step 4 or 5, I can't remember which. You want to add rooms to your keep, because then we'd be building a tower, not the keep. The main difference between the two is that one has rooms and the other doesn't. So with this, I have enough for 3 floors. What you don't want to do is put one on the this first little level right here. And just so you know, the slab, after you make the whole block, the slab that you put down right after it, that's where you start building your platform. You don't put it on the first one, because it's way too low to do any good. So how you do this, you put, this is all slabs except for the walls. So we go out 3 more blocks, because that gives us a little bit of a walkway. And then I branch out 5 more. On each side, of course. Maybe. And then I go 5 back, and then I just fill that in from there. Now that we got something to work with, I'm just going to build this platform really quick as an example, and then build the others. Okay, so this is one little platform. I know it doesn't match the keep, but it's not supposed to, because for a keep you want the little tower, and then you want bigger rooms. You don't want a 3x3 room, because then what's the point of having a room? So I'm just gonna put 2 more of these up, and be back in a little bit. Okay, y'all. This is what it looks like after I added 2 platforms. But an important thing to note is before you start making the walls, you always run out to the front of the platforms to make sure everything is even. But tell me in the comments, does this look like the E from Dude Perfect Overtime logo? Let me know down below. Okay, now that you heard me blab like that, we are now going to build the walls like I was about to do. And it's just the same simple process. Just going all the way to the tippy top. Okay? Video speed up. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, guys, we got the outside of a keep. Now, an easy part to do is just add a roof to the top layer only. So it's not going to take as long as doing the whole thing, obviously. because the roofs for the others are just the floor that's beneath your feet. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add some decor. So I don't know how you like your castles, but I personally, or your houses even, I personally like lanterns. And I don't care. I've never tried the copper lanterns, so I'm just sticking with plain old lanterns. One at either end, symmetrical as always. Two by the door. And I like the top floor to be my bedroom. And I always go orange bed. Like, yeah, that's just a personal preference. But we're gonna make this front and center. Uh-oh. Guys, why is it? Hello? This is where you're gonna have some problems. Because if you were like me, you did it one little thing too low. So it's gonna float. That's gonna look really bad because you can't cover up floats except for with slabs. It is possible, but it's annoying. So if you ever encounter this mistake, like I do frequently, you always, it's just gonna be a little blip in your staircase, but you'll still be able to basically continue on almost seamlessly. So if you do that, just add one slab to the bottom of the floor. And I know this is going to make everything a little raised. That's okay. Might feel a little stuffy. The lanterns might not work. But it's nothing that it's just decor. Because like look at this. You can't run around because you're running into a lantern. So I'm going to get rid of these lanterns over here and put them somewhere where I'm never going to go, which is the corner. Ta-da! Crisis averted. Another thing you can do is to... I wouldn't recommend this, personally. Another thing you can do is you can go down one, but that's just going to make the same problem all over again on the floor below. You're going to have low ceilings, and trust me, it's not going to be fun. So I personally... Oops. I personally like my bed left side of my bed, front and center. So that'll work. And then what I do is I add little stairways on the sides. Kind of like that. They're not stairways, but I think they're pretty close. You always want to make sure that you have enough room to get out of them. And we're going to add some flower pots for decor because I know being non-decorative has cost me a few build battles. Anyway, you get the point. We're not going to leave this undecorated. So we're going to put my favorite thing. Oh, did these not go in pots? Never mind. We're not going to put my favorite thing in because I like the look of the pots. Nature. Where are flowers? There they are. We're going to put some... Ooh. We're going to go with tulips. Just because it's red. and I like things that are red. So that livens this up a little bit, and I will add some later decorations, but this is a build video. This is not a decorative challenge. But you're gonna have the same problem down here if you did this, it did up there. Actually, do you? Yeah, you do. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't mean to mess up this bad. I promise. But this room is going to be a little bigger, like ceiling-wise, because of the gap that's between this floor and the next. So it's giving you jump-in room. And I always have this as my utility. I always leave my storage at the bottom. I don't know why, it is just the way I roll. So I always have some furnaces with this, and then I have crafting tables. Obviously, because they're kind of needed, in case you didn't know. And then, if you're fun, you can add a music disc. Let's put it over here. I'm sorry, guys, I just had to. No, it's too much. That is too much, sir. I am sorry. Sorry for even thinking of that. Let's try one of the new ones, though. You know what? I'm fine with it. I am fine with it. Unless it goes down into the next room. You know what? That's too much. We're just gonna have the crafting table. I like the music disc, but that's too much for me to have. Maybe at the we'll put it in the guard room because the boys need a little juice. Okay, so again we have to fix the floors. Just gonna skip this part of the video. You know what? Never mind. I'm gonna snap my fingers and it's gonna be done. Wow! Hey, it worked. The floor's done. Okay, now we gotta put lanterns up so we can see and have nobody spawn in here. And I gotta think. I don't have storage, so this is gonna be my storage room. And we are going to have barrels, because it has more of a medieval vibe than chests. Chests will have like treasure in them in medieval times. Barrels, however, are more for storage. So we're just gonna be nice and fill this room up with barrels. And I'm gonna make it look like more barrels, even though it's really the same amount. Okay, we have barrels. And you can sort these out however you want. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You can add decor. You don't have to listen to any of this part of the video, really. Because now it's time for the fun part. Now we get to add... What the heck is this? I did not intentionally do this, guys. I just need to light this up a little bit. So nobody unpleasant spawns in here. I mean, if you made it tall enough, you could make this into a mob farm. That'd be kind of funny. But don't. It's not what the castle is meant for. I mean, a castle can be meant for anything, believe me. But okay, so that means we're on this side. So we're gonna add We're gonna be medievally correct. And we're gonna put windows in. I always use glass blocks. I never use paints for no apparent reason. But you always want to have a look at what's going on outside your castle. And it could be double windows. It could be anything. You have the choice in this matter. So that allows the light of day, which is on the top of your keep, to flow in around. And we're gonna add some, what are they called? I'm gonna call them spikes. I know that is not what they're called, but that's what I'm gonna call them. I'm gonna do it with the red bricks, because I think it's gonna look really good. Leave that part out. Okay, perfect. And I know what I've done in former castle builds of my own personal. I've added something what I think is really funny. I've added dispensers up here and shot fireballs and arrows of poison and all this stuff like that. Because I don't know if anybody has played Age of Empires. Leave a like on this video if you have. But if you have, you know that there are castles in Age of Empires because it's empires. Empires gotta have emperors, gotta have castles. So you can build castles, and when an enemy approaches them, they get shot 8 times. So I added 8 dispensers up here once, and I activated a lever, and they just went flying. It was hilarious. The fireball, I think, went 64 blocks. I don't know if that's a record or not. I'm just going to say it is because it was my personal record. This is a cool part of the castle. You can't do a ton with it. You can add some decor. But this is the part where you'd leave empty because this is where the guards would be. You'd have a big old brazier in the middle. And instead of that, I just add torches. Because there are no such thing as braziers in Minecraft yet. I'm gonna write to Mojang and tell them that they should add braziers. And depending on the environment, I usually make paths to other buildings. But since it's not necessarily gonna work in a snowy biome, and I'm not gonna do this all because this is gonna take ages, and I mean ages. This is what's called the curtain wall, and that's what would generally surround not just the keep, but the entire castle. So the other towers would be part of this curtain wall. You'd have the barracks inside. You'd probably have a blacksmith, a library, all that kind of stuff. You'd have probably a brewery because medieval people, they liked to drink. So what we're gonna do instead, you could branch this off of the keep if you want. I'm not going to, but I keep hearing zombies somewhere. So every time I do, I'm just going to kill all entities because they are annoying me. So down here is where we are going to put the barracks. If you enjoyed, I might make this a series. So if you enjoyed, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Stay lit.
I tell her, baby, 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 I'm a fireball.